Being 5 people deep at the UPS store, not my favorite thing.
On the spectrum of annoying people to sit next to in a movie theater, 2 obnoxious laughers take the cake.
My new house has a pool, and that pool's lights have programmable colors. You know what doesn't look good, though? A blood red pool.
Ew. As if we didn't have enough to worry about, cocoa is causing deforestation. Now I have to feel guilty about eating chocolate?
Oh, God damn it. Have such a good day. Hello, world! Welcome to Have Such a Good Day, the show that wants you to do just that.
Here we are.
We're feeling punchy. I'm sitting in a garage.
You guys can always expect us to have a new background, like, I don't know, every 6 months or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because Heather and I are nomads and we just can't stop moving.
We can't stop.
If you're listening to the audio version, hopefully everything sounds, as it should. But if you're watching the video version, I am in my new studio. I call it Studio Redwood. Now you can't see any redwoods because I'm in a garage. But I am surrounded by redwoods in my new place of business, and they are just the most beautiful thing. Yeah, place of biz. I will tell you, the squirrels running up the redwood, you're like, whoa! You just ran up 70-foot redwood,
completely vertical.
Yeah, they're just being squirrels, just doing their thing. I'm like, I hope you're okay up there. It's a little squirrel. Make sure you're holding on tight.
Interesting that nature programs things in different ways. It's very fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating. I'm a little envious of your cute little studio. Looks like you're in kind of a New York style loft, and I really like that little piñata that looks like you behind you. Your little
the Sarah
little
piñata.
Friend.
Yeah, that's the Sarah piñata is she hangs behind me. I'm not sure what we're gonna do with her because I feel like it's a little weird to beat to death the Sarah piñata to get candy. So she might just sort of, be my little friend in here.
I like a piñata as a little
we have a lot
tchotchke.
of little places to, when I say we, it's, my landlords or, it's a whole property. It's a whole thing going on at the new place. But we have in the garage a bunch of sort of almost like rafters, designed to put boxes up there so that they get them off the floor kind of thing. So that's what she's hanging from.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Welcome to your new home.
Thanks.
So
Thank
this
you.
show, if you are tuning in for the first time, is the show where 2 ladies, 2 fancy, sophisticated ladies,
That's
unpack
right,
the
yes.
absurdity of everyday life. Kind
Very-
of like adulting,
very
being an
classy.
adult. Just kind of like the everyday bullshit we have to deal with, but we kind of try to laugh about it because that's the only way we can get through.
And Heather and I, and anybody who's familiar with the show, and we're on episode 58 now. So if you've been with us from the beginning, but but we put the show together in part because it's just an extension of what we would talk about at brunch anyway.
Totally.
And
we don't have brunch anymore, so this is our time to catch up.
Brunch is going to be a little bit more creative between the two of us because we are now a plane ride away.
But when we do get together to have brunch, it is going to be a throwdown.
It's going to be an epic brunch, bitches.
Yeah, man.
So, Heather, what's our bonus topic for everybody who's at the $5 and up Patreon level?
Well, everybody, since the game that we played last week, the Marry, Shag, and Kill, you recall, it was
a bit of a hit. Yeah,
it was a total hit. Well, at least we know from our Discord community, they really dug it. And I think the games are something that I'd be curious to hear from all of you. How you feel about just games in general, because we could do more of them. Please email us at hi@havesuchagoodday.com. So we are going to play Marry, Shag, and Kill again, but this time Sarah's going to quiz me.
Tables are turned.
Excited.
Yes.
I'm
Heather
also
has to
nervous.
decide who she's going to marry, who she's going to kill, and who she's going to do.
I'm a little nervous, but I trust that you came up with some good combos.
I think I did. I put some thought into it, as you did. The Gary Busey one, I still don't really know why you did that to me, but otherwise, I think I've.
Are you going to get me back?
I think no.
Should I be nervous?
I think I have presented some I've presented some challenging.
Oh man, I hope I know everyone you're referring to.
You do.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
didn't.
good.
I didn't throw you any weird curveballs, and you
Okay.
watch more movies than me anyway. You know who everybody
That's
is.
true. I definitely do. So Sarah, how's your week been?
Well, it's been good. So mentioned in the new studio, I now live up in Sonoma County. In the woods. I'm not even kidding, guys. I live
In the sticks.
the woods. It is so cool. I'm from the area. So this reminds me of home. This actually is home, even though I've lived actually more of my adult life in San Francisco than here. But it's very familiar, and yet it's been a long time since I've lived here. I have visited, spent a lot of holidays, in and out in a few days kind of thing. Maybe a week tops. But to live here and kind of get my bearings again is familiar and also not. It's a funny thing. And I think the good thing about me is that I love meeting strangers. I'll just talk to anybody. So I mean, everybody down at the corner deli, I know all of them now. I know where they live. I know what their dogs' names are. We chop it up every morning when I get my coffee because they have really cheap coffee. I've met many of my neighbors, not all of them. Some of them are a little. There's probably some illicit stuff going on at that one house down the street, but it's country life. People are chopping wood. Everybody has a big old truck. And Otis and I took a beautiful walk yesterday where you kind of wind up into the hill above where I live, and then it kind of, the street turns into like a gravel, like a one lane, like, narrow kind of thing. And you're sort of like, okay, well, let's see where this goes. Then it turns into just like a walking trail, like cars can't even go anymore. And then it kind of dumps out into another street, like way down the hill where it's like, oh, okay, we're back into civilization sort
Very
of
cool.
again. Yeah, it's
So fun to explore.
It's been great. Yeah, it's as a walking enthusiast, I'm loving it, and I feel like I'm absorbing so much oxygen from all of the trees and just sort of just everything that's growing out here. It's really nice.
I bet, it would be interesting to sort of like look at your lungs after like being a year up there and comparing your lungs from like living in LA, especially on the east side. I actually heard like years ago, I remember like it was some article about living on the east side of LA is like significantly worse than living on any other part of LA, like I guess, closer to the ocean, obviously, but that people's lungs, it's like they takes a year off your life or something crazy like that.
Heather and I were talking about, I know. Ugh. Yeah, well, I mean, listen, LA is better than it used to be, but still air quality, not always great. And we've had lots of fires all over California. So, I mean, that obviously affects all of us. And, with any luck, that's the end of that for this year. But yeah, it's funny. Heather and I were talking before the show about, LA and the fact that, I love Los Angeles. I love the desert. I love the landscape. I love the people. I love the light. There's so many things about it that I love, and I was worried that I was going to miss it. And I mean, of course I will, but you get somewhere, and it's funny how quickly you adapt. You just sort of go like, oh, okay, this is what I look at now.
Yeah.
It's just different foliage. I look at bay leaves now and redwood trees, and there's still squirrels,
and it's all good. It's apples and oranges, and I think that like, it's cool to switch it up in life, like as opposed to staying in the same place forever. Enjoy different flora and fauna, and
That's right.
that the coyotes are gonna miss you here. That's one thing. It's funny because
I will miss them as well. Yeah.
I'm from NorCal too, so like for me, home is like that Mediterranean flora and like kind of the redwoods and the ocean, and I do miss that. I feel like I crave it in my bones, and like I remember my hometown, Los Gatos. We had somewhat distinct seasons. Like it would get hot in the summer. We had leaves on the ground in the fall, and here though it's neat to be in the desert because it's such a different thing for me. Like I didn't even live near a desert, and just the the feeling here is it's special, but I do still in my bones. It's like my home is more NorCal, you know.
And it's funny how much what's sort of growing around you or not growing matters, you know, and it sort of, you know, it kind of gets into your brain. I mean, my, you know, and I won't go on and on about this, and people who've listened to other shows I've done are probably sick of me talking about it. But I mean, I live in a straight up log cabin. And I mean, I came from, well, I lived in 2 different apartments in LA in this last stint over the last 4 years that were different, but I mean, they were not, that's not what they were.
Yeah.
They were quite modern compared to this. This is old school. And you know, I'm still trying to sort of be like, okay, well, if literally every wall is sort of a warm wood, like what do I do to like cool it off? You know, like I think I have to get a new coffee table. I don't need this reclaimed wood coffee table anymore. You know, like it's like I don't need it anymore.
It's like it's too much.
It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. It's a little overwhelming, but man, you all gotta visit me up here. We got an Airbnb going on. It's good stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. And so my one thing about like kind of NorCal now these days, especially north of San Francisco, is it's like that kind of musty, mildewy thing that I am afraid of now. It's weird. It's like, and I'm kind of thinking of maybe further north than even you, but like, you know, I kind of enjoy the dryness down here because I think the mildewy kind of like a lot of rain gives me allergies. So I wonder how I would fare up there now.
A friend of mine who actually doesn't live far from me, you know, where I am, but her house it's very different. It's kind of on top of a hill and it's very cleared. It's, you know, she gets a lot of direct sun. It's actually, and I'm more kind of like under the trees.
Yeah.
She was like, you know, there's something about being under the trees. Like, it kind of bothers me. Like, you know, on a sunny day, like you're in the shade all the time. Like, doesn't it bother you? And I'm like, doesn't bother me because I don't even like sun anyway. But, but I can see when, and it also hasn't started raining up here yet. So let's talk in a couple
You better get
months.
some cute rain boots. Actually, I'm going to send you some that I found the other day. I think you might like.
Oh, cool. Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, enough about me. Heather, how was your week?
My week has been good. I mean, it's been, you know, it's very, very busy. I'm, you know, in the thick of it right now, but a new project came along that hasn't been greenlit yet, but it would basically be an amazing project that would happen in December. They would take me to Miami for a week, and I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, that this comes through and I'll tell you more about it when it's greenlit / you know, NDA'd, because it's confidential right now, but I'm working with like a really cool filmmaker and stuff. So
very cool.
Anyway, there's that. Okay, but I did want to mention, I thought this would be like a fun little thing to talk about with you, Sarah, because I think that you struggle with this type of stuff too. It's a little bit of a social quandary, if you will, but like, so, you know, having you know, an ex that you haven't talked to in a while, you know, you don't communicate anymore,
right?
But there's the unfortunate, you know, birthdays coming up, and unfortunately their birthday comes before my birthday, which would be really, really nice.
So the ball is in your court.
Exactly. And I hate that because I'm like, I'm such a birthday person in the sense, like, I want to make sure that I show some level of love to people when it's their birthday, because I think it's an important day.
Sure.
But I don't really want to be the first one to reach out. And I'd be curious to know if they would reach out, but I won't ever know that. Because then he's going to feel obligated to wish me a happy birthday because I did. So the ball is in my court, and I was curious to hear how you feel about this.
Well, as you know, I'm not a birthday person who likes to go, you know, ham about, you know, I'm going to have one every year. You know, why do we have to do this every year?
Yeah.
But at the same time, the people that are closest to me will tell me happy birthday, and I appreciate it. You know, like it's like you said, it's not even a polite thing to do. It's something that you do for somebody that you care about, no matter kind of where you are in life.
Sure.
And it's funny because the last guy that I dated seriously, which wasn't even recently, it's been a while, but he was, he knew when my birthday was. My birthday was in October, a few weeks ago. And the day came and went. I didn't hear from him. And it wasn't like it ruined my day or anything.
Sure.
But I noticed it.
Yeah.
And his birthday is, just a few days from now.
Oh, wow.
And I kind of have that conundrum of like, am I the bigger person who says happy birthday? Or is that just kind of like introduce a conversation I don't want to have?
I know.
Him not saying happy birthday to me was very much like, I'm not, top of mind for you.
Sure.
And that's okay. Why would I be? We don't talk. But yeah, it's kind of, it's like I want to be polite, but I don't want to reach out at the same time.
That's how I feel. But I mean, I know myself, I probably will end up sending some kind of stupid Giphy or something. But like, but yeah, I just these.
I think you do that, and you can go to sleep at night saying, "Hey, listen, this is a person that they meant something to me at one point.
Yeah,
I sent them something nice, and they can decide whether or not to even respond."
Exactly. And one of my favorite expressions, other than I wouldn't kick him out of bed for eating crackers, is killing them with kindness.
That's right.
So I think that's a good way to be.
Well,
anyway.
On a completely different note, not one-on-one conversations, in fact, quite the opposite. I thought this was sort of interesting thing that Instagram is testing the idea of hiding like count numbers. Now, when I say that, it means that if you, Heather, post, a photo and you're like, this was a good photo, like I think I'm going to get some traction here, and you get 100 likes, you will see those. But I, as somebody looking through my feed, will not see the number of likes that you got. I will only see the number of likes that I got. And the idea is that it is incentivizing people to compete with each other less. Now, this test has been going on in other markets. The reason that I bring it up now is because it's coming to the U.S., so you and I might see it. It's a test, so it's, it
Sure.
might not be rolled out to everybody, or maybe it will. Kind of hard to say, when companies do tests like this. But, they tested it out in Canada, New Zealand, a few other places. But I thought it was kind of interesting that, I try really hard not to buy into the fun, and heart game kind of thing. And I hope that I'm somewhat, outside of that millennial bubble. But I also think it's interesting that companies, especially, a platform like Instagram, which is very, very popular, obviously very successful, is grappling with the idea of like, our platform makes people feel bad regularly.
Yeah.
Is there something that we could do to like just ease up on that, so people are like, well, if I got 5 likes on my post, well, maybe Heather got 5 likes on her post too. I don't know. Instead of me being like, I only got 5 and she got 500.
It's funny that this used to not be an issue. I
Right.
feel like even
Yeah.
for me, like now I'm sort of like, yeah, there's a sort of a little bit of that competition. But I never felt like that before. Like I never felt like this was even an issue, I guess. Instagram has changed a lot over the last few years.
Right.
And that's part of it.
Yeah. And I think, and there's also sort of, there's a variety of advertisements that,
Yeah.
are cloaked as if they are not, right? And so the like removal is not just about, touchy-feely, how we all feel inside about our friends kind of thing, but there's more to it. I kind of hope it sticks. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. Maybe it'll annoy me, but I think it's interesting that the people behind a lot of these services that have grown in popularity, where it's like we're in the like hundreds of millions of users of people who use this, and a few people at the top being like, we might want to think a little bit harder about what we're doing to people.
Yeah, I wonder how people are going to react, though, that are really popular on Instagram and they're feeling pretty, good about themselves because they get, hundreds of thousands of
But
likes.
that's the thing, right? It's like if you get hundreds of thousands of likes and it's you you'll still see that.
Sure.
But nobody else does. So what does that do to like, you know, your like what motivates you at that point? It's going to be very interesting if this sticks to see when we devalue the likes of others.
Sure.
You know, how
think it
that
is
changes
cool.
our behavior, if it changes it at all.
Yeah, and then like, what's the next step? Like, nobody can post vacation photographs. Then we will
that be
really
nice?
stop feeling bad.
Exactly. If you went to Italy, no one can see it. Period.
Yeah, you're not allowed. There's like blockers, like certain countries you're in. It's just like no tropical islands. Anyway, this is really funny. So, you know me to not be a total perfume person. Ever since I came across a little boutique-y perfume back in, I believe, 2010, maybe actually 2009 or 2010, when I lived in New York. I lived a block away from Elizabeth Street, which is in a neighborhood called Nolita, and there was this little perfumery called Le Labo, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. It kind of had a European vibe, but like kind of modern too, and like industrial, and just stripped down, like just really cool style. And I remember that was when I discovered a little perfume called Santal 33. And so this was like pretty much when it came out. I saw this headline on The Cut, and it was this girl basically saying like, I was the first one to get this perfume. And I felt like this instant sort of like, I was a little irked because I was like, I always thought that I might have been the first person because no joke, and I'm not bragging, I swear when I got that perfume, nobody knew about it. No one in my immediate circles. Everyone would stop me on the street. What are you? I'm not even joking. Like I would get.
Like you smelled so good, strangers would be like, "I love this."
Yes,
Tell me what you put on your body.
Like more than a few times, I would have the woman at the checkout counter or the person behind me asking me what I'm wearing. I'm not joking. I mean, like on the street, I would walk by and someone would like tap my shoulder, and I was like, "Wow!" Like I feel like I'm onto something, you know. And I loved it so much. I wanted to bathe in it. It was sort of like that perfect sandalwoody, not super girly, flowery, because that's one of the reasons why I've not been into perfumes, because I always liked when I was in high school, I loved like my boyfriend's colognes, like Obsession for men, and what was the other one? Drakkar Noir. And I used to love like the cologne, but I never loved perfume. Other than like, I remember getting body spray from like Walgreens when I was like in high school. That was like the extent of my perfume usage. Those things were disgusting. But
yeah,
like,
I was definitely buying drugstore perfume for some time.
Yeah, gross. Like I don't remember. I think it was like maybe I had like Calvin Klein 1, I think was what I had in high school.
CK1, there was CK1 and CKB.
Yeah, I never
came
had
afterwards.
B. I don't remember B, but that was also kind of like good for male and female. It wasn't super girly, and that's why I liked it. So this whole thing, so this article is interesting. It wasn't exactly what I thought it was, but this woman basically, this crazy story. So like this perfumery didn't have, the Santal wasn't a perfume to start out. It was a candle, and people were very obsessed with this candle. And then it became, after like years later, there was like a room spray. And so the way that the person who ran this business figured out that, oh, wow, this needs to be a perfume is a funny story. I won't get into all the details. But people used to take the candle, like they'd put their hand in the candle wax and like wipe it on their neck because they loved the flavor, the scent so much. And yeah, so just to go back a little bit, the company was launched in 2006. So around 2009, 10, this perfume came out. But like before that, like 4 years prior, there was this candle first. It's just so funny. It's like I felt like this tinge of competition. Like, wait a minute, I wish I wrote this article, you know, because it was just kind of funny. But to this day, I still wear it. And I love it, and I still want to eat it and bathe in it. And I sometimes wonder if I should buy a bunch of bottles in case they stop making it, or if like they sell out because so many people love it now. Oh, one more interesting thing. In a poll recently, and this blows my mind because, like I said, back then, nobody knew about it. 1 in 5 women say they wear Santal 33 as like her preferred fragrance.
Really?
Which is pretty shocking because I guess it's been, I guess we're almost 2020. So sure. Okay. That's been about 10 years. That's a decent chunk of time. But I still think I was one of the first.
Well, it's probably
to buy this
sort
perfume.
of equivalent to like little black dress, you know,
Sure.
where you're like, you know what? It just works for me.
It's ubiquitous
It's good
now.
for everyday use. Yeah,
Sure.
that whole thing.
Yeah,
You know,
it's not like
the
a
perfume thing is funny. Le Labo, I think you knew about it before I did. The first time I ever went into one, it was on Fillmore Street in San Francisco.
Uh-huh.
And I was with a friend, and she was like, "Oh my God, you have to come in here. You can like make your own." And I was like, "This is a little precious for me." But
Totally.
But I ended up walking out with a scent that I was like, "This is really."
You got the
nice.
rose, right? I think you have the rose.
Well, it's
Or is
it's,
one of
it's-
those?
It's been, you know, it's depleted now. I have not replenished, but my perfume, which you know about,
Mm-hmm.
is 68 from Guerlain.
I still have mine.
Well, I don't because I used it all up, and it is hard to find. This is like,
Really?
oh yeah, it is like a very hard to like I'm looking on like Second Market perfume.
How much do you think I could sell mine for? Just kidding. I actually have almost a full bottle.
Sold to me.
I
I'll
wonder
buy
how.
it.
I mean, how old? I mean, do perfumes just last forever, or do they expire?
No, they
This is pretty old.
They'll turn.
Shoot, I
But
bet
I mean,
it has
it
turned
is.
then.
It is. Well, you know, I mean, I don't know. Give it a sniff.
I'll try it. Yeah.
But it is. It's sort of the way that you're talking about Santal. It's one of
Yeah.
those fragrances where I was like, I remember putting it on for the first time at Neiman Marcus, and at first I was like, oh yeah, no, that's not. Wait, hold on.
Because you and I
'cause
bought it together.
It takes a minute, and I was like, oh, I like this.
No, I remember, but I'm trying to remember. Like,
And
back,
I've never
didn't we buy it together.
Well, I think
At some point, we did.
I
'Cause
think
we both
I
had
did,
it.
and then I was like, Heather, you need this in your life.
Oh yeah, maybe so. Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
so.
but yeah, it's one of those scents where it's like, I don't really care if I wear perfume or not, but when I do, and yeah, someone's like, you smell so good, you know, they hug you or whatever, you know, it's like it is.
You're like,
It's like just a little added bonus. It's like wearing
is.
jewelry.
Totally, 100%. 100%. Well, speaking of nothing, if you guys have anything to say about our last few stories, please email us at hi@havesuchagoodday.com and check out our Patreon, patreon.com/havesuchagoodday.
Hey, we got some
Sarah, where are we going to find? What are we going to find there?
Well, you're gonna find so many things. Patreon is where we've kind of built our model off of the Patreon model. So if you're familiar and you're already a patron, you know how it works. If you're curious, please do check out our various tiers. We try to offer added perks and fun stuff for people at various levels. And we do have some subscribers that we would like to shout out right now. We're going to do that in every episode going forward. Allison Park, $1 level. Woo woo!
Woo! She's
David
back,
Caldwell, $5. Woo woo! Woden. Also a $5 Bala, and rounding it out with Corey G, who's now in our Discord.
Well, Corey G's
looking
been
forward.
Looking forward to chatting, Corey. Corey's actually been around for a while, but him and I was trying to help him get into Discord the other day, so he
Yay.
just finally get into Discord. So welcome, Corey.
Discord's cool. It's kind of like our little friend back channel of the show.
It is.
So if you,
That's a good way of putting it.
If you like, I don't know. I mean, when I say IRC, that's probably not gonna really move the needle for people. But if you like just the idea of kind of like group chatting, that's what we're doing. We're just kind of chatting in there. It's really fun. So please join our Discord at the $5 and up level. We'd love to have you and hear more about what makes you tick.
And there's no pressure. I mean, we don't talk 24/7, but there's things, it comes and goes. We'll talk about movies. We talk about what we're doing over the weekend. We talk about issues. We talk about the show. I mean, you can talk about whatever you want. You could talk about your favorite sweatpants, which I think we have talked about that before. But yeah, there's no pressure to even chat that often. You can just poke in whenever you want to. So come and join us. We would love to have more of you.
For now, we have a bonus topic coming up. Heather and I are going to play Marry, Shag, or Kill. But for the rest of you, the show must end. But don't worry, there'll be another show soon enough.
It's been wonderful to have
It's been
you.
wonderful, and it's been real.
It has been real.
Thanks, everybody, for watching and listening, wherever you are, whenever you are. Have such a good day. Until next time, I'm Sarah.
I'm Heather.
Bye-bye.
Bye.